Welcome to the Weekly Bull, the broadcast that helps to inform you as a student and a New Yorker in only a few minutes. Now to our newsroom on campus at the King's College.
This April marks the 50th anniversary of New York City's landmark preservation law. After the old Penn Station was destroyed in 1963, a move was made to enact this bill, which finally passed into law in 1965. 1,500 landmarks in the 5 boroughs have been saved since the bill was first passed, and 27% of Manhattan's buildings have been given protection. But as Mayor de Blasio tries to increase the amount of affordable housing in the city, critics fear he will go too far. Preservationists believe he is not enforcing the law enough. However, Mr. de Blasio promised to revitalize the legislation. In celebration of these 50 years, free tours and events will be held throughout the city to highlight the city's history and architecture. For more information, go to nyclandmarks50.org.
In 2014, New York City lost 264 people to traffic-related accidents. To put that in perspective, as we come to the halfway point in 2015, there's been around 50 deaths on the road. In order to commemorate those lost last year, New York City traffic activists got together and recently executed a project in Brooklyn. The new memorial mural features a black silhouette for each person lost in 2014, complete with their name and date of death. On Saturday, an almost disturbing coincidence took place in the making of this mural, as a truck wrecked into the wall that was being painted. Thankfully, nobody was hurt at the time of the accident, and the 500-foot mural has been successfully completed. The mural can be observed at the corner of Kent Avenue and South 3rd Street in Brooklyn, New York.
And now for the top 5 OATKC posts of the week. Female student number 1. I'm going to take a chance and not buy a ticket to spring formal in hopes that I'll get asked and not have to buy one at all. Female student number 2. I bought mine 3 days ago because getting asked just ain't gonna happen. Student. I can't afford how hungry I am. A student's friendly advice for the last month of classes. Don't worry, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but be careful because sometimes that light is attached to a moving train. A conversation with a professor getting married this summer. Student. So did you ask the father for permission to have his daughter? Professor. I'm a little too old to ask. I don't ask. I just take. Student 1. Channel your inner George Washington. Student number 2. I don't have an inner George Washington. I'm not an American.
New York is finally warming up. And what better way to spend your weekend than outside surrounded by beautiful Japanese cherry blossoms? This weekend, April 25th through the 26th, is Brooklyn's annual Sakura Matsuri, a festival celebrating traditional and contemporary Japanese culture. This year's events include taiko drumming, samurai sword fighting, tea ceremonies, and much more, including a guided tour through the Japanese Hill and Pond Garden. The event will be located in Brooklyn's own botanical gardens and costs $25 for the entire weekend, with events scheduled from 10 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. each day.
The cause of the explosion, which leveled 3 buildings in the East Village last month, is still under scrutiny. Officials believe it was an improperly tapped gas line, but the question still remains of who is to blame for the deaths of 2 men and injuries to nearly 24 people. The Hernanco family owned 2 of the 3 destroyed buildings, 119 and 121 2nd Avenue, according to the New York Times. The family has owned the buildings since the 1970s and owns a considerable amount of property in the East Village. The Hernancos have thus far declined to offer public comment on the investigation. In campus news, the King's Debate Society will host a speech competition at 6 p.m. on Monday, April 27th. The competition is open to the public, and the top 3 speeches will receive cash prizes. Also on Monday, King's Image Films is presenting their second film, Lens, at 6:30 in the City Room. Don't forget to follow the Empire State Tribune on Twitter or Facebook. Tweet at the EST with the hashtag WeeklyBull with comments or questions. Signing off, I'm Michael Sheetz. Thanks for bearing the bull.